Good morning. In this lecture, I want to discuss about the conversion of different form of energy to electricity. Okay. So normally we know that when we have to generate electrical energy, okay, we need mechanical energy as input because when we are talking about electricity, generation of electricity, we need a electrical generator or an alternator. Okay, so when the alternator will generate electricity, when will give some mechanical energy as input, then only the output of the alternator will generate electrical energy. Okay, that means the input to the alternator is what? Mechanical energy. Okay, and obviously this mechanical energy will be converted to electrical energy, okay, by the help of an alternator. Okay, and that means when I am using a coupling of turbine and an alternator, okay, and if the turbine will rotate, that will produce mechanical energy, okay, and as the shaft of the rotor is in coupling with the turbine, then what will happen? The rotor of the alternator will rotate, and because of that electrical energy will be generated according to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, that means EMF will be induced in the armature circuit. Okay, and obviously the field will be developed. When I am talking about the alternator, where is the field? Field is on the external periphery of the rotor. Okay, and this field will be developed by the excitation. Okay, external excitation. Okay, and when the prime mover or turbine is rotating, as the rotor shaft of the alternator is in coupling with the prime mover or the turbine, then the rotor of the alternator will be rotated. That means the field is rotating now. Field of the alternator is rotating now, and because of that, electromagnetic induction will happen in the armature circuit of the alternator, and because of that, electricity is produced now. Means in your armature coil, now you are getting electricity, and that when I want to, what is our aim? We want to generate electricity, and we have to sell the generated electricity for the customer. So for that, we have to bringing out the generated electricity to the external circuit. So for that, we are using external terminals. Okay, and here I am talking about how you are converting electricity. Okay, so as we know that when we are using an alternator and we are giving mechanical energy as input, then only electrical energy is generated. But how we are getting mechanical energy is how the turbine is rotating. That is the task here actually. If I want to generate electricity, then definitely we have to develop mechanical energy, and for that means we have to rotate the prime mover or turbine of the turbine in the power plant. Okay, so for that we have to depend upon some sources by which, or we have to depend upon some energy sources from which we will bring the energy, and that due to that energy, okay, we are getting mechanical energy. When suppose I am talking about hydro, okay, see the diagram, you can understand. Suppose I am talking about the hydro power plant. Okay, then there I told you in my previous class also, there we are making a reservoir. Okay, then in that reservoir we are storing the water. So water is in potential form there. Then after that, by the help of penstocks, okay, we are bringing the water by the help of penstock, okay, to the turbine from the storage. Okay, so that means when we are bringing the water is flowing through the penstock, the potential energy is converted to kinetic energy form. And when the water is coming near the turbine, or when the water is open at the blades of the turbine, then what is happening, the water will hit to the blade of the turbine, and because of that the turbine is rotating, okay, because of the water pressure. And that means here now the kinetic energy is converted to mechanical energy as the turbine of the power plant is rotating, okay. And obviously if the turbine, I told you, this mechanical energy is the input to the alternator. So once this energy, the alternator is getting mechanical energy as input, then obviously the output of alternator will be electrical energy, and this energy will be supplied to the customer. Similarly, when I am talking about nuclear, okay, that means for that we have to make, suppose you are talking about nuclear fuel, okay, then for that we have to produce steam by the energy taken from nuclear fuel, okay. We are generating heat, okay, and that heat will be produce steam due to the thermal effect, okay. That means here we are talking about thermal power plant. Means when it is nuclear fuel, then what will happen, the nuclear fuel will, by the help of nuclear fuel, okay, we are trying to generate heat energy, and that heat energy will produce steam, okay, and that steam will heat to the turbine, okay. And once the steam is hitting the turbine, what is happening, mechanical energy is generated, and that mechanical energy is the input to the alternator. So once the alternator is getting mechanical energy as input, then obviously the output of the alternator will be what, electrical energy. And similarly, when we are talking about coal, oil, gas, etc., by taking coal, oil, gas, also by burning them, also we can generate heat or thermal power plants, and this thermal energy will help to produce steam, okay, by heating the water in the boiler, and the steam will be superheated and it will heat, or it will open at the turbine, okay. So the steam will heat to the turbine, and once the steam is heating to the turbine, what is happening, the turbine is rotating. That means we are getting mechanical energy. What I am telling, if the turbine will be rotated, that means we are getting mechanical energy there. And this is a very simple thing. If the turbine is rotating, the turbine is in coupling with the rotor shaft. So for that, the rotor is rotating, the rotor of the alternator is rotating, and obviously if the rotor of the alternator is rotating, we are getting electrical energy from the alternator as output, okay. So this is the way we are converting different form of energy to electrical energy, okay. So these are the traditional ways I'm talking about here. These are the traditional ways which we are broadly used. We are using broadly in worldwide, okay. So by the help of these, and we are developing mechanical energy by the help of different energy sources. We are developing mechanical energy, and once mechanical energy is readily available, we are getting electrical energy as output of the, or we are getting electrical energy from the output of the alternator, okay. Now I want to talk about or discuss about fossil fuels as a source of energy. Okay, and by using fossil fuels we are trying to generate electrical energy. Okay, so when I'm talking about fossil fuels, these fuels are actually energy rich substances, and these are formed from long buried plants and microorganisms. Okay, coal, crude oil, natural gas are example of fossil fuels. You know it very well. Okay, and these can undergo combustion producing significant amount of energy per unit weight. Okay, these are the workhorses of our energy sector because of many advantages. Okay, these fossil fuels are the workhorses, we can tell, when we're talking about India. Okay, or even if worldwide, these kind of energy sources or fossil fuels are the workhorses of energy sector, as they have many advantages. Okay, and these fossil fuels actually base the system, and in which the fossil fuels such as coal, natural gas, or petroleum products are used to produce electricity or other usable form of energy. Okay, what are the advantages? Now I want to discuss. Okay, so first one is what? Easily combustible and produces high amount of energy. That means these fossil fuels are easily combustible, and obviously these are producing the energy level of production from this kind of sources are very high. Okay, when I'm coming to point 2, it is well established and stable extraction. The storage is also, we have storage, distribution, and service infrastructure. Okay, we have stable when I'm talking about fossil fuels. Okay, and we are talking about the commercial, or we are talking about the availability in abroad or in India. Okay, so these kind of fossil fuels are established and stable. Okay, these are very stable when I'm talking about the extraction of it, or storage of it, or distribution and service infrastructure of the fossil fuels. Okay, these are very stable in comparison to other source of energy. Now I'm coming to point 3, that is generation of electricity and various other forms of energy. Obviously I told you, by using, when I'm talking about in electrical energy, because we are in electrical engineering, so obviously by using this form of energy sources or fossil fuels like coal, crude oil, natural gases, we are able to generate electrical energy. Okay, and I have discussed in my previous diagram how we are generating electrical energy. Okay, so this is the very good advantage. This is the advantage of fossil fuels by which we are able to generate electricity. Then the next point is inexpensive compared to other energy forms. So when I'm talking about other form of energy sources, and we are comparing the fossil fuels, the energy available in fossil fuels, okay, or extraction of energy from fossil fuels. When I'm comparing, so these are inexpensive. Okay, when I'm talking about the paying, when I'm talking about the economics, okay, when I'm talking about the amount to invest. So when I'm talking about, suppose I'm talking about electrical energy production per unit, then when I'm using this kind of fossil fuels, these are inexpensive compared to other form of energy sources. And obviously the last point is, which is commercially availability. Obviously, if you are talking about the generation of electrical energy, and obviously I told you that when I'm talking about hydro power plant, thermal power plant, or nuclear power plants, then we are using mechanical energy as input to the alternator, and from the output we are getting electricity. Okay, or from the output of an alternator we are getting electricity. But to get the mechanical energy, the input sources should be readily available. So that means when I am talking about here the fossil fuels, these are readily available or commercially available. So these are the main advantages of fossil fuels for which we are choosing the fossil fuels for electrical energy generation. Now suppose I am talking about the coal-fired thermal power plant. Okay, here I am talking about fossil fuels. Okay, fossil fuels are the energy sources, and by taking the fossil fuels we are trying to generate electrical energy. So now I am talking about taking coal as a fossil fuel, and we are making a coal-fired thermal power plant here. So this diagram shown is the schematic diagram of coal-fired thermal power plant. Okay, so now I am trying to discuss about the working of coal-fired thermal power plant. Here I want to discuss about what? The working of a coal-fired thermal power plant. So see the diagram. Okay, first one is what? Coal handling unit. So obviously the input source when we are trying to generate electricity, obviously the main requirement is what? The turbine and alternator setting. Okay, then before that obviously the input source should be available. Okay, and here I am taking the coal as the input. Okay, so for that coal handling unit should be there, and obviously I told you in my previous diagram that when I am talking about the coal-fired thermal power plant, then coal will be burned and that will generate heat, and by which the water will be heated in the boiler, and that will the boiler will produce steam, and this steam will heat through the turbine. Okay, by superheater. The steam will be superheated first, and then after that it will heat to the turbine, and then only we are able to get electricity from the output of the alternator. As we are getting mechanical energy, so obviously we are able to get electrical energy from the output of the alternator. Here I am talking about the working of the coal-fired thermal power plant. See the diagram, you can understand. So when I am talking about first, we have to talk about the coal handling unit. So coal power, this coal from the storage are crossed. Okay, first the coal will be crossed. Okay, we'll bring the coal from the storage and we should cross it, and then it will be pulverized into fine powder in the coal handling unit, because we have to burn them. So for that we have to process it. Then this is then blown into the furnace with air, where it is burned with the help of oil guns. Okay, and then ash produced. Okay, and it is deposed by the ash handling unit, because when the coal will be burned, obviously ash will be produced. So for that we have to make the ash handling unit. So see the diagram, you can understand. Coal handling unit, and then after burning of the coal the ash is produced. So for that we are making ash handling unit. Okay, then the flue gases are forced out through the chimney, and water in the pipes on the furnace wall is converted into steam. Okay, because when I'm talking about the boiler, there in the furnace water pipes will be there. So these water pipes will be heated by the temperature produced from the coal burning, and because of this heat energy, the water will be converted, because the water will be present within the pipes. Okay, so it will be, the water will be converted into steam, and this will be fed to the boiler drum at high pressure. Okay, and then water is also fed to the boiler drum through feed water pump through the economizer. See the diagram, you can understand economizer, how the water is pumping and it is fed to the boiler by the economizer. Okay, then this is passed through the superheater, because once we get the steam, so this steam will be passed through the superheater. See the diagram, you can get the superheater there. So the steam will be passes through the superheater, and the superheated steam is passed through the turbine for expansion. Okay, then when the steam is expand at the turbine, what will happen? The mechanical energy will be produced, and this is passed through the generator shaft for the electricity production. Means because of the, when the steam will be expand at the turbine of steam power plant or coal fired thermal power plant, what will happen? The turbine of the the turbine will be rotate, and because of the rotation of the turbine, what will happen? The shaft, as the shaft of the rotor is in coupling with the turbine, what will happen? The rotor of the alternator will be rotated, and if the alternator or rotor is rotating, that means we are getting electromagnetic induction there due to the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So that means we are getting electricity now. Okay, and the exhaust steam is then passed to the condenser. Once the electricity is produced, then the exhaust steam which is remained is passed to the, after heating the turbine, the steam will be exhausted, and that will be passed to the condenser, and condenser will cool the steam, and once it will cooled in the cooling water circuit by circulation. Okay, and so efficiency, that means when we are trying to condense the water, then we can recirculate the water for the steam production. Okay, so here the efficiency of the thermal power plant is what? Normally 30 to 40%. Okay, in this diagram I want to show you simplified process flow of the thermal power plant. Okay, see the diagram, simple process flow of the thermal power plant, coal fired thermal power plant, you can understand. So first we are handling the coal, so coal handling, and we are making the pulverization of the coal. Okay, then the next process is what? Coal combustion in furnace. Okay, for the production of heat we are making the coal combustion in the furnace or boiler. Then the next process is what? Demineralized water converted into superheated steam. Okay, once the coal will burn and heat will be generated, what will happen? In our next process, the demineralized water, okay, that is converted into superheated steam by riser tubes, boiler, superheater, economizer. By taking the help of these things, okay, we are getting superheated steam in our next process. Then after this, the next process is what? Steam expansion in the turbine. Once the steam is ready, okay, once the steam is superheated, then in our next process, okay, we are trying to expand the heat near the turbine. Okay, so once the steam will be expanded near the turbine, what will happen? The turbine rotated. Okay, so in our next process I've shown you, see the left hand side diagram. Okay, next, so here the we are due to the steam expansion we are getting rotation of the turbine. Okay, so once the turbine will be rotated, okay, what will happen, as the alternator is in coupling with the turbine, what will happen, power will be generated in generator in our next process. Okay, and at the time of, see the right hand side diagram, after the process of steam expansion in turbine, here also we are getting the excess steam which is condensed and cooled. Okay, means obviously the steam, when the steam will be opened at the turbine, what will happen, the steam will be adjusted there, and after hitting the turbine, and this steam will be what, condensed and cooled, and by which we can reuse this water. Okay, and again we can send this cool water to the turbine. Okay, so for the recirculation of the water we are trying to adjust steam, condensation and cooling. Okay, so this is the process flow of thermal power plant when we are firing coal. Okay, now I want to discuss about the impact of fossil fuel based system on the environment. Okay, so we should, when we are making the power plant, obviously we should talk about the impact of the fossil fuels on the environment. Obviously this is the main aspect we should discuss about when we have to make some power plant. Okay, we should talk about the effect of that on the environment. Okay, so I'm trying to discuss about the effect, okay, in the environment when it is fossil based power plant. So fossil fuel based power plants, so industrial processes, okay, which are using, that means industrial processes which are using fossil fuel have various environmental and sociological impact, definitely. So when I'm talking about the environmental impacts, it may be emissions or effects. So we have to talk about the emissions. What are the emissions happening when I'm making coal fired or any kind of fossil fuels fired thermal power plant? Okay, we should talk about what are the emissions from the power plants and what are their effect in the environment. So here I am talking about the emissions first. So when I am talking about the emissions, so obviously fossil fuels must be burned to realize, means they are these fossil fuels. When the fossil fuels will be burned, what will happen? Okay, it will release energy for utilization. Okay, and these fossil fuels being rich in carbon concentration releases CO2, obviously. So also CO is also released from boiler and furnaces by incomplete combustion of carbon. If the carbon will be incompletely combust, then what will happen? Also CO will be generated, carbon monoxide gas will be generated also. Then this combustion in air comprising 78% of nitrogen by volumes produces nitrogen oxides like NO, NO2, N2O, which is collectively known as NOx. Okay, and again sulfur content of fuel results SOx emissions. Similarly, fine particles emissions, which are known as particulate matter, which are also released from the fossil fuel based thermal power plants. Now I want to talk about their effects on the environment. What are the effects of these emissions in the environment? So when I'm talking about the effects of these kind of gas emissions, so what will happen? Okay, what will happen in the environment due to these emissions? Okay, so when I'm talking about the effect, what will happen? This increase in the CO2 concentration, obviously, because in our, what is the percentage of CO2 in our air. Okay, but when we are making the thermal power plants and we are using fossil fuels there, okay, as CO2 is the emission there, so obviously the CO2 level will be, or the concentration of CO2 will be increases in the air or atmosphere, okay, which makes the environment warmer and leading to global warming effect. If CO2 will be increasing the environment, obviously it will be what, due to this in the environment global warming effect will be developed. Then these are the resulting in the drastic climate conditions such as droughts, floods, etc., particle pollution, and others, our health, resulting in respiratory problems and premature death also. Okay, so now when I'm talking about the nitrogen content, okay, so air pollutants like NOx and SOx, okay, these can travel long distances, okay, and chemically react in the atmosphere to produce secondary pollutant such as acid rain and ozone, okay, because of NOx and SOx, as these are traveling long distance, or these can be travel long distances, and when they will chemically react with the atmosphere, they will produce what, acid rains, etc. Okay, now I am to talk about socio-economic impacts. What is the socio-economic impact on that? Okay, so fossil fuels drive our lifestyle and nature economy, obviously, and energy infrastructure building need to be fast enough to keep pace with economic and social changes. Increased competition for limited fossil resources is pushing the prices up. Okay, these are the social economic impacts. Yes, these are the social economic impacts of fossil fuels in our social life. Okay, now I want to talk about key issues when I am talking about fossil fuel based power plants. Okay, here energy is at the heart of most critical economic, environmental, and developmental issues the world. Okay, obviously, when I'm talking about the issues, okay, we know that energy is the heart of most critical economic, environmental, and developmental issues in world. Okay, so here clean, efficient, affordable, and reliable energy services are indices are what, indispensable for global prosperity. Okay, now I'm here talking about the major issues or key issues of fossil fuel based power plants. Here energy security can be described as, when I'm talking about energy supply security, okay, this can be described as uninterrupted physical availability of energy at a price which is affordable. And most energy produced today comes from the fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, and natural gases, and these fossil fuels are finite through the absolute quantity of fossil fuels still in potential reserves is not known. Okay. When I'm talking about long-term energy security, it is mainly linked to timely investment to supply energy in line with economic developments and environmental needs. On the other hand, you can say short-term energy security is the ability of the energy system to react promptly to sudden changes in supply and demand. These are the issues of energy supply, or these are the security issues. Okay. Now I want to talk about the next point, that is the issues due to environment. So here I am talking about environmental issues now. So when I am talking about environmental issues, okay, we can talk about the global level. So in global level, or at the global level, the energy system supply, transformation, delivery, and use is the dominant contributor to climate change. It is representing around 60% of total current greenhouse gas emissions. Okay. So current patterns of energy production and consumption are unsustainable and threaten the environment on both local and global scales also. Okay. Emissions from the combustion of fossil fuels are major contributors to the unpredictable effects of climate change and to urban air pollution and acidification, or that means acidification of land and water. Okay. So these are the issues of environmental when I am talking about fossil fuel power plants. So now we know that the key issues are energy supply security and environmental issues. Okay. So now I want to talk about the possible solutions and sustainability of energy. Okay. So sustainable solutions meet the needs of the present without compromising of the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So here I am talking about some solutions. First one is energy conservation and energy efficiency. Then the next one is technology upgradation, and the last one is alternative source of energy. So these are the possible solutions to the issues which are generating from energy supply security and environmental issues. Okay. So here I want to discuss about energy conservation and energy efficiency. Okay. So the first point is this one is energy conservation and energy efficiency. Here actually efficiency in the spelling, when I am talking about the spelling of efficiency, I have written EFFICIEN and then CY is not present here. So this term is actually efficiency. So when I am talking about energy conservation and energy efficiency, I can talk about here, or I can discuss about here, that energy conservation refers to efforts made to reduce energy consumption. Okay. Reducing energy use is also seen as a key solution to the problem of reducing emissions. Okay. According to the International Energy Agency, that is IEA, improved energy efficiency in buildings, industrial processes, and transportation could reduce the world's energy need in 2050 by 1/3 and help control global emissions of greenhouse gases. Then come to the technology upgradation. So here when you're talking about technology upgradation, we can talk about clean coal technology, that is CCT, and carbon capture and storage, that is CCS, and cogenerations are few of many technological changes, okay, which can be made to the existing system. Okay, these are cleaner and more efficient technologies. I told you those things, that is CCT, CCS, and cogeneration. Now coming to alternate sources of energy. So when I'm coming to this point, I can tell these sources of energies are the answer to quest of sustainable energy sources. Here we can talk about renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, biomass, etc., which are sustainable because they can't run out. Okay, like solar, wind, and biomass energies. Okay, so here we can talk about hydrogen energy is a more cleaner option also, and these have maximum environmental impact during utilization. Okay, so this finishes the possible solution and sustainability, which is the solution to the major issues like environmental supply security and environmental issues. Okay, thank you very much.